Gamescom is here, which means there's some Directive 8020 news. Yes, we were all hoping that we'd be playing a demo right now, but since that's not a possibility, let's enjoy the prologue. Possibly in its entirety? I don't know, I'm watching it for the first time as I write this video.
Good evening, Carter.
Good evening, Oracle.
Okay, so obviously it's not the whole prologue. Presumably we'll see what Carter and Sims were up to before they got the alert about the impact. And we're starting off when they've already arrived at the ship's computer. First off, it's a little weird that they have to go to the Oracle chamber to find out information. Can they not just have the computer tell them via whatever screen they're closest to? Seems like an inefficient and possibly dangerous way to run a spaceship. Next, let's listen to the ship's voice.
A meteorite has penetrated my outer hull, puncturing through to the maintenance facilities on Deck 4.
It seems to have an accent, presumably because it was designed by a Dutch woman. That's part of the backstory, right? That Laura built Oracle? I'm gonna go check. Yes, that's what happened. Sorry I didn't know that off the top of my head, but I've watched like 50 movies and played a few dozen games since I made the crew videos, so the details get a little fuzzy. Not as fuzzy as Oracle's understanding of space, though. Check out this clip.
A meteorite has penetrated my outer hull.
Of course, the ship wasn't hit by a meteorite. It was hit by a meteoroid. Meteoroids are small bits of natural matter that fly through space. If it's too small to be called an asteroid, it's a meteoroid. Meteorite, by comparison, is the mineral remains of an asteroid or meteoroid that crashed into Earth or presumably another planet or moon. If it's in space, it's a meteoroid. If you have to dig it out of an impact crater, it's meteorite. The kind of thing you'd expect a spaceship to know. But let's move on.
A meteorite has penetrated my outer hull.
Man, that is a worrying thing to hear from a computer. Oracle is the program that runs the ship, but it seems to think that that means that it is the ship. It refers to my hull, not the ship's hull. It's a step towards a computer deciding that it's a living thing that gets to have agency, which tends to work out really badly for the people on board. I mean, even HAL 9000 didn't think he was the Discovery. So, this is really weird. Listen to the end of this line.
To conserve power and isolate damage. You.
Why is there an extra U in there?
You.
Has the line been cut off and they were a little sloppy with the editing when they jumped ahead to later in the scene? Now we get to our first turning point choice. Reboot the computer to get more accurate damage assessment, but that means key systems won't be available. Or have the support there, but you won't know what you're walking into. Kind of feel like they could just wait for the system to reboot before going out to fix things. Oracle hasn't made it clear that there's a catastrophic amount of damage and disaster will be imminent if they don't fix it right away. Also, check out the rewind button right there. They're really making it clear that they want us to be able to go back and play with the timeline as much as we want. And yay! Finally? I'm so happy this feature's in the game. I do feel like we're not being given enough information here to make an informed decision. Specifically, how long is a system reboot going to take? If it's 10 minutes, they could just hang out and start the repairs when it's done. If it's going to be 5 hours, then yeah, maybe it's worth delaying. That seems like a question worth asking. And hey, Supermassive, can you please stop putting loud breathing noises all over the game? In addition to being annoyingly distracting, it's super unrealistic. Breathing isn't audible unless someone is gasping from exertion. So having these little breath sounds show up when we're trying to just enjoy the scene is very frustrating. It was bad in Devil and Me, and it's worse here, because you had 3 years in which to not make the same mistake again. Hey, who's playing Carter? It's not a big deal, but his accent sounds a little weird. Is this a British person trying to sound Canadian?
Reboot your systems. Sims and I will carry out repairs regardless.
Oh look, there's a life form detected. If only they'd waited literally 5 more seconds before leaving the room. Of course, narratively, the scam would have turned it up after they left the room, no matter how long that took to happen. But this is a good reason to establish the stakes and make it clear that it's going to be hours before the reboot is done, so they should probably get to work. Now we get to exploration gameplay, or as I, for embarrassing reasons, call it expiration gameplay. Remember the collectible locator from Frank Stone? Well, now that's just a part of the game, so Carter is able to scan for interactables in the environment with the press of a button, and I assume a brief recharge. I enjoy their conversation along the way, but are they talking about a chess game?
Your move, right?
King to C1.
Have they got a game going? Were they playing that chess game when they got the alert? Almost certainly, right? That was a jarring transition. Hopefully this is just like an edit, and it's not going to be that weird when you're actually playing the game. Just an idle thought, but I wonder how fast the ship is going during this scene. Presumably to save fuel, they don't slow down until their destination. So while the characters are walking around the hull of the ship, is it going like thousands of miles per hour? Also, this seems like solid foreshadowing.
Impact must have boiled the water and caused a rupture.
Doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't look too good either.
If we fix the sealant system, it should fix that too.
Boiling water, breaking pipes. Looks like someone just established why they're about to get blasted out into space. This is the first time I've taken a good look at the hull. I assume that's some kind of a foam insulation beneath the metal plating that the pipes are running through. The fact that it's dark gray kind of makes it look like they built a spaceship out of concrete.
What a mess.
Understatement of the year.
What is that?
Coolant, maybe? Could have leaked during the impact.
It's the first appearance of the Goop Monster! They're starting right away, which is nice. I can believe they're not close enough to guess how scary it is, but maybe head over and take a look at that? I love this force field effect. Although, wow, is this ship badly made if it needed a person to go out there and turn it on? Then again, that's what you get when you trust private industry to do important stuff. They have a nice conversation that dances around the issue of exactly why they're all out in space. I was hoping for clues, we're just not getting any. We do get a very interesting piece of dialogue here, though. Check this out.
I just wish we could see it up close. Like boots on the ground close.
We're blazing the trail, man.
So as you can hear, they are just doing forward reconnaissance and they're not going to land on the planet. It seems like this specifically refers to the news article about the Apollo flight before the moon landing that we saw in Little Hope, where they were only given enough fuel to do a loop around the moon so they wouldn't be tempted to land. The guys on that mission might have been so desperate to be the first people to walk on the moon, they would say, oh, let's just go for it. But they didn't have the chance to because they wouldn't have been able to get home. Which raises the question, does this ship not have the ability to land, or like not enough fuel to land, and still get back to Earth, which we assume they're planning to do? And does that mean, because, if in fiction you're told something is going to happen, that thing is definitely not going to happen, does that mean we're going to get a sequence where they have to land on the planet, as this video where they seem to be dangling from a cord and have gravity suggests, which maybe leaves them unable to get back to Earth because they had to use all of this fuel to land? Basically what I'm asking is, did this tiny article from Little Hope basically reveal a huge chunk of the plot of Directive 8020 5 years early? If so, amazing work, Supermassive.
I'm older than Cernan now.
He once told me this.
Now that is how you pay off a setup. Wow, this player is super bad at QTEs. I assume that was a tap to maintain the grip. Pro tip, switch those to hold so you don't wreck your controllers. I'm a little puzzled by this part of the interaction though.
Yes, Evie! I can come get you!
It's too late!
No! I can do this!
Carter, listen to me! By the time you fuel up, it'll be too late!
Presumably the USCV he's talking about is some kind of a support rescue transport craft. Which makes me wonder, why would it not already be fueled up? Like, if you have an emergency support vehicle shouldn't it be ready to fly in case of emergency?
Rook to C2.
What?
Rook to C2.
Checkmate.
Oh, she finished the chess game. So that's a kind of closure at least. And the death is even called checkmate. Oh, that's cute. And they're encouraging you to rewind. So, does that mean that you've unlocked the checkmate death from the list, and presumably you can jump back to this point when you're done the game, even if you go back and save her right now? Okay, now it's sometime later and Carter is back in the crew complex. Is this the actual transition in the game, or will we have an intermediary scene of them finding out how the ship's repairs went? Because I know he's emotional and all, but that ship, based on what we saw in the hull puncture, is nowhere near fixed. A mystery figure walks by, opening the door. Who could it be? A monstrous version of Sims? Yes, of course that's who it is. And she's wearing a hoodie now. This is an interesting reveal, because it seemingly lets the player know about shape-shifting aliens instantly, since the real Sims died in space. If Sims was saved, on the other hand, this exact scene can happen, but you'd have a moment wondering if she was mind-controlled or maybe a robot. See, now this is an appropriate time to hear a character's breathing. There's the rolling camera jump down we saw in the trailers. Nice to see that we've got floating baggage in this sequence, so there's no gravity while the ship is en route, and they've been making do with magnetic boots the entire time? Wait, have they had no gravity for 4 years? I'm amazed they still have bones. Is there going to be artificial gravity when everyone else wakes up? We did see Carter's floating body, so maybe not.
My mum is dead. Everyone is dead.
This is the first time we've had a confirmed bit of monster talking. Up until now, all the established monsters have been eerily silent, so thanks for the reveal. The fact that she's talking about her mother, and everybody on Earth dying, makes me wonder how the monster knows what to say. Sims was blasted into space, so it couldn't be reading her mind, could it? Has it merged with Oracle and integrated the computer records? Or maybe it's building its version of Sims based on Carter's memories and it's psychic? Yay, it's the Wake Up Day banner! After Carter makes it to his quarters, we get a branch notification, Easy Exit, which presumably is the branch where he escaped versus him being caught and killed during the hiding sequences. I wonder if this will change anything major in the main game, or just affect things like where Carter's body is found. Now we see the Carter recording from the teaser video, but it's notably different.
Something's wrong with Sims. I lost her. I saw her float away. I know I did. How is she?
That was by a Carter who saved Sims and didn't understand why she was attacking him. This one knows it can't possibly really be her. I kind of love that there's a press start to rewind over Carter's death when there was literally no way to avoid it. He's a Prologue character. He's going to go. But I guess people want to go back and check what happens if you got caught during the chase. It's extremely interesting that new players will have a very different idea of what's going on based on what happened to Sims. If she flies off into space, you're going to immediately think imposter. But if she makes it back, if it plays out exactly the same, a player could instantly think that this is some kind of a brain slug mind control, since they didn't do a goop reveal in the end. This is a pretty fantastic opening, all told. And we didn't see all of it. It introduced most of the key mechanics, we didn't see any item use, and showed us how easily characters can get killed based on missed QTEs. We didn't see any places where a decision got someone killed, though, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of that in the main game. I'd have to see the whole prologue before I can properly assess things, but this does seem like a top-tier intro for the series. Now if they can just come back from that fade to black with a little "Oh Death" and the Curator reveal, I'd be extremely happy. For now, though, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Questions, comments, your own thoughts on the prologue and where it stands ranked with the others, go in the comments section below the video. Play my game, Clown in the Woods, on itch.io. It's violent, We'll see you back here for more Directive 8020, but until then I'll say that's right. Au revoir.